So, hello friends, Guyan here, and today I'm going to react on something very interesting from Filipino part. This actually kind of a little bit explode from my algorithm, so I'm pretty curious on what this video is going to be about. And it's all about Filipino racism, and I don't know anything about that, so yeah, it's I'm very curious. So hopefully you can leave a like and subscribe for my YouTube video, friends. Hopefully you can support the video that I'm also reacting to this, and yeah, let's get right into it.
Hi, I'm a fat little Asian man, and this is the Philippines. Due to the rule of Pinoy, now that I have just said the word Philippines, this video's comment section will now be full of Philippines mentioned
Yes,
raw or proud to be Pinoy.
Pinoy,
Just
hell
click
yeah.
on any other video about the Philippines and yeah, they'll be there. Obviously, it's clear that Filipinos are very proud of their culture, as they should be of course. But next
Yeah.
to comments full of the Filipino flag, you can see comments like this, all talking
Yeah.
about how Filipino racism is number one. This is what confuses me. How do
Yeah, to me
Filipinos
too. Like even here in the Philippines, like here in Mindanao, like I don't understand this racism. I even have like a comment like one comment on my video. Like he's from Tagalog, he's from the north. I don't actually get it, but he actually kind of hates me. Like how I even speak like Bisaya, like just because I don't understand like one word, like bayao. I don't know. He really hates me from that. Like I don't know. Like I don't get this racism. Like I'm pretty sure this is more prominent up there from the north than here in the south, because here in the south we're pretty much fine. Like we even just walk our day and kind of don't notice each other. Sometimes we notice each other and we kind of joke about it. And there are even like some drivers who love my mustache. So yeah, I kind of love here in the Philippines. Like I don't any type of argument of other people.
have the most pride
Yeah,
and love for their country, but also seem to be the most racist to their own people? I mean, it's natural for people to have a love-hate relationship with their own country, but for Filipinos,
I
there
mean
doesn't seem
true.
to be any middle ground. It's either 100% Pinoy pride in all caps, or living here is hell, I want to be reborn. This confusing nature made me
There is like a way. I did also notice this, that we are kind of racist against like blackish, like Filipino. They're called Bajau here in the Philippines. They're a tribe of Bajau. We don't like that. I think I heard a lot of like even like called about how they are like black or stuff. Like we kind of like joke a lot of them. There's also like tribes that we also like kind of like weirdly joke about, like oh how they are very poor in this case, or very uncultured towards our modern society. It's kind of weird, like we kind of devalue our own culture by other people, other places, especially in America. They're very proud of who they are, and like even wish that they are not Americans. It's kind of weird, like how we're living in a world of self-hatred.
want to make sense of Filipino racism even more, to try and understand the racism
Wait,
I was introduced by my own viewers. Something only possible by understanding the geography, culture, and history to see why Filipino racism is on a next level. Now, one thing before we begin, I'm not Filipino, I'm
oh
Korean,
oh
which means I am definitely not an
he sounds like Filipino.
expert. I
That's why I kind of like confused a little.
started from my curiosity alone. This video was only possible because of
Yeah,
my
even
Filipino
I don't
friends
get this. Like I'm a Filipino who lives in the south, like in Mindanao. Like I don't know about racism, Filipino racism. There are some Filipinos who actually hates me too.
at
It's kind of weird.
university who helped me guide through the lore of the Philippines.
Oh hell
So
yeah.
please comment for any corrections or things I missed out. Thanks.
Okay, let's
Because of all
see.
the Filipino presence online, it's easy to think the Philippines is one country with just one homogeneous
No,
people.
we're a lot of diverse people actually. I came from like even here in the Philippines, like we speak like 300 languages, like different people. Like it's kind of amazing, like how we even are exceptionally diverse. Like even like outside world, like there's a lot of Filipinos outside from the Philippines. It's actually like a beautiful country, like with beautiful people. Like I don't know what this racism even about. Like holy shit.
But there's actually like 200 ethnic groups and different
Yes.
languages, spanning
So
across
200, so not 300. Okay, got it.
7,000 islands and a
I was wrong.
113 million population. That's why the country
Is
is
that
actually
total?
more
Like because I did wonder, like there are still a lot of Filipinos that is outside from Philippines. So pretty sure that's not the entire, I guess, entire population of the Philippines.
1,000
But yes,
islands
we
and a
have a lot of islands
113
too.
million population. That's why the country is actually more like different online game servers. But we're going to go over the three
Really?
major
I
ones
never
today.
played this type of game. Okay, except Minecraft. Okay, everybody loves Minecraft. Okay. Raft didn't play Raft. Animal Crossing didn't play a lot of this, except Call of Duty, but not Warzone. Like I don't play that.
Luzon,
Punch
Visayas,
Out.
and Mindanao.
Mindanao,
Luzon is
hell
the
yeah.
GDA server. Everything from knife-wielding tondos to quiet-speaking Ilocans are here. but it's most notable for the Metro Manila region, the largest city area in
Yeah,
the
this
country.
is basically like the GTA of like the Philippines, as everyone called it. They're pretty accurate actually.
A total of 52 million people live in
But
Luzon.
I never been in Mindanao. I only been part of like I never been part of Luzon, which is the northern part of the Philippines. I'm only here in the south, like in Mindanao and especially in Bohol too. Like I only been to small part of Visayas and majority in Mindanao.
With 13 million in Metro Manila alone. The Manileños are basically the main characters of Filipino racism. Maybe
Oh,
it's
okay.
because all the people are crammed together in the bad traffic, cooking under the Filipino sun, they are exceptionally skilled at being racist to everyone. Manileños are often stereotyped,
I didn't
by
know that.
themselves mostly, that they are modern, sophisticated city people with rich English speaking
I'm pretty sure this
coños
is not in the term of racism. I'm pretty sure this is like classist, like because they're very rich and they're part of the rich side of the Philippines. I'm pretty sure they have this like egotistical ways to, I guess, you know, ways to empower their own ego, I guess.
sipping matcha lattes. They call the rest of the country province people, making fun of rural areas and other Filipinos that have distinct accents. Their biggest rivals are the Cebuanos in the Visayas region,
In the Visayas,
aka
yeah.
the Stardew Valley server. Visayas is famous for its beautiful beaches and scenery,
So
with
true,
their
man.
cozy inland farms.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, contrasting with the big city areas of Manila, the Cebuanos are known for being loud, fun loving, and chill, which is why they laugh at Manileños for being
Same.
busy, boring, and
Here in
arrogant.
Mindanao too, like there's a lot of people here, like there are Muslim people that just like sell their stuff and we're just pretty chill. We're all chill here. Hopefully, because yeah, we're kind of a lot chiller than what the northern parts. At first, this is what I really thought about. Like the northern part of the Philippines are majority are the most racist.
Cebuanos hate it when a Tagalog corrects their grammar or roasts them for not ever being in a mall before. Outside from the main drama, you've got Ilocanos in North Luzon who get bullied for speaking quietly and being really stingy, but are
Really,
too
I didn't
busy
know that.
working to really care. There's also the Wares, who even the
When I
Manaleños don't bother, as they're known for being tough, probably from enduring all those typhoons. Because
summer,
of Manaleños looking down on provinces, naturally you would think it's Luzon versus Visayas and Mindanao. However, Mindanao is busy fighting their own battles. Literally. Mindanao is the
that's a bit stereotypical. Here in the Philippines, it's mostly peaceful. That's it. Yeah, there's no like any war. Yeah, we do have like the Marawi War, but yeah, majority of the part here is basically mostly peaceful. Like, I'm pretty sure they already have like a peace treaty from the pretty sure the BILF and the MILF, not MILF, but yeah, we have a MILF terrorist here. But I'm pretty sure they already had a peace with the government. I hope, because we really just hope there's no war here, man. I never experienced war here in the Philippines. We do, we are pretty scared. Like some of my family are pretty scared, but I'm pretty sure I'm here in the yellow part of the Mindanao, somewhere here, somewhere in the red too. This part of in the Philippines, we're practically safe here. Like there's a lot of mountains too.
Call of Duty server. In a country where over 90% are
I'm pretty
Christians,
sure that's very
there's a
stereotypical. Like even I am a bit offended that we're called here in the Philippines, the Call of Duty war zone.
unique Muslim population in Mindanao. For a few
Moral.
decades, there were armed separatist groups like MILF that got heavy media
Yes,
attention
myth.
and it was quite dangerous. Even though the region is decently safe
That's
now,
I said there's a oversimplification from the war. Like majority of them don't even like. Some of them are actually allies here in our Philippines. Like it's very complicated, but there's also like ISIS here. Yeah, that's how complicated this war. But usually we don't have ISIS after the Marawi war. There's still like some small cells, I guess. But yeah, majority here is relatively peaceful, and I hope that it's mostly peaceful. Maybe I don't hear a lot of like wars or news and that stuff. Maybe I'm too ignorant about that, but I'm pretty sure that's a overall generalization of this video. Because here it's not a war zone and stuff. Like we're just very peaceful here.
that image of guns firing, bombs exploding,
And it's kind of like this does insinuate like this video right now like insinuates that the moral people are evil people in this case are they are like terrorists in this case. Like it's kind of like stereotyping the Muslim here. Even though they're that's very chill. Like we're just chill, man. This is why racism exists. Because I guess this type of like oversimplification and you know I guess oversimplification of like producing other type of Filipinos. I didn't even like know a lot of like Ilocanos. I'm pretty sure they're not even like silent. I Of course, that's not all. That's pretty obvious to see, but I'm pretty sure there's always like, like consideration when it comes to those type of things when you're kind of explaining all these like people, So I do hate the oversimplification for this for Asian fat man, but yeah, I hope the Filipinos in the comments can also like correct this.
Was
Hopefully,
stuck, and everyone knows Mindanao as an FPS free for all. Now, if this was all
it is
Filipino
funny
racism
joke
had to
though.
offer, it wouldn't be Filipino racism, it would be Filipino regional quarrels. But the reason why it's racism is because your worth is calculated based on where you're from and especially your skin color. A lot of Filipinos grow up in a culture where having lighter skin color is treated as beautiful, wealthy, and desirable. My
Even
Filipino
like my dad always like tried to squeeze my nose so that it would be longer, so that it would be like an American size nose. I don't even care about that. It's a nose. I'm just born with it. I can't change what I'm already born.
friends told
Damn.
me they grew up with their grandparents telling them you got whiter or mestizo, like compliments, but
So
were scolded if they were playing in the sun or left home without any sunscreen. It's why the skin whitening industry in the Philippines is massive. Products like whitening
really,
soaps,
damn.
skincare, injections, pills, and treatments are very
No, it's
accessible.
actually better for you to be a little bit black or a little bit brown because it better protects your skin from the sun. So yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages. So I don't know why we're so obsessed with being white.
With one of the highest rates of skin lightener used in Asia.
Oh damn! I
It's
didn't
to the
actually
extent
know this. I didn't know. Oh, there's also mercury. Yeah, this is why I don't like using a lot of products because I don't know like if there's any type of mercury and stuff. Maybe potentially dangerous.
where people put mercury on their skin. It's also really evident by how the more darker skinned Filipinos are viewed as wild, exotic jungle dwellers. It's because darker people are more likely to be from the multiple indigenous
Damn,
communities like the Cordillera people. Apparently,
Cordillera.
there's a lot of tourists that treat them like the cavemen from Night at the Museum. Now, I
Oh
hear
man,
some of
that's so
you
sad.
furiously typing, that's because white skin is associated with nobility, as they didn't work in the sun. Don't you know
Really,
that? And yes, it is true, but it's not nearly as close to explaining the full picture. In the Philippines, especially in
that's not
schools,
really true because, as I said, that's at least racism. Because if you don't know, friends, like even in Africa, people they're black. They're just evolved to be black, or even Indians in this case. Yes, they just evolved to be black because the sun just better protects their skin. That's it. They just evolved to have like that. That's why Asians have their eyes like squinted because they actually protect better from snow blindness. Because in the past there's like a lot of snow in the northern side in ancient history, so they evolved this like squinted eyes to better protect them from snow blindness. That is sun reflected to the snow because that can actually like blind you and stuff. That's why they also have like very interesting like skin, I guess in this case. That also better protect them from the sun, from the snow reflection. So that's why Asians are Asians. They evolved to be in those type of like environment from the ancient age.
you can hear the N word more than an episode of the Boondocks.
Yeah,
Why,
I
in a
hear
country
that.
with a presumed 0.5% black population, uses the N word so much? It's because the N word's origin, negro, is still used to describe the darker skinned population. The
The
word
word
negrito
yeah, negro is like the word black in Spanish. So yeah, we kind of use that. Sometimes you use itim. Like the word itim is black. I think that's more Tagalog. I think we here in because we're Bisaya, we say negro, while in Tagalog in the northern side, I'm pretty sure that you can use itim. Like itim is black, yellow is no, yellow is ice. Yes. Yelo. Yellow is ice. But sometimes they're verde. Verde is I think green and Bilao. Bilao means yellow. So yeah, we have those type of words.
means small black person in Spanish, and was made by the
Yeah.
Spanish to categorize groups like the Eta, Ati, or Acta people.
Ata, Manwa,
They also
Taita,
renamed
Batak.
an entire island to Negros Island because the Ata people living there were apparently too black. The term Negrito is still
Uh-huh.
used today to categorize all these people. From
Wait,
an
are the
outside
Ate still alive? Because they seem to have like ancient pictures. Hopefully they're still alive. Because some tribes unfortunately, get killed in the past, like history, conflicts, unfortunately, or just modernized with the modern world. Yeah, sad. Like we forgotten a lot of our ancestors in this case. Yeah, it's so sad. Like Philippine racism exists here. Kind of weird too.
outsider's perspective, it kind of seems insane that Negrito is still used because imagine if black people were still called that in US or Europe. Of course,
But I'm
Filipinos
pretty sure
didn't make
because American don't understand the word or the context of the word because that's usually just the word of black. I think that's how I think. So I can't say Negro or Negrito in this case because this is just how we say black because there's no other word except itim. Itim is also a word in the Philippines. That's usually like how we just say black. Hopefully, I didn't offend any Americans out there.
This label themselves. And to understand where this
Yeah.
all comes
Uh huh.
from, we have to explain a crucial part of the Filipino identity and history: the colonial mentality. Colonial mentality is the internalized PTSD you get from being colonized. Every single country that has been colonized has
Yeah.
colonial mentality, in some shape or form, depending on how long or severely you were colonized. For the Philippines, colonial mentality forms as an internal idea that European or white is superior compared to something
That makes
local.
sense too.
It's not something that Filipinos do because they hate their country, it's just trauma left over. The colonizers might be long dead and gone, but their impacts on society still exist.
Yeah, I'm pretty
In
sure
South
that's
Korea,
also the case when it comes to like this type of colonialist mentality. This usually always like try to, I guess, shape an entire nation. This case, like also in this case, I won't be surprised that even like North Koreans, because they're actually kind of overworked. It's the same almost in Japan too. Like they're extremely overworked. I wonder where they get this from, but yeah, it seems like within their culture, they like really love working and being exceptional in this case. And it's kind of sad. Like, hopefully that will change in the future because this is why I kind of love like how much the world is changing because we're kind of like deviate from those type of ideas and we're kind of developing this more open-minded ideas when it comes to like even like me like right now like I'm actively learning history like I actively learning like other people's opinions like there's like a lot of diverse people around the world like the economy is actually kind of amazing like it's a very interesting invention of like humans in the world. I'm very positive about like how the world works these days, even though there's potentially worst thing that might happen. But at least there is like a positive thing that I can see. And it's kind of very beautiful that I've been like hearing this video coming from a Korean person, because I can understand like he doesn't know any type of like you know Filipino context in this case, and I can't blame him.
the Japanese colonized us for like 35 years, which doesn't seem that long, but impacts are still here in everyday life.
Yeah.
Did I forget to mention that Filipinos have been colonized for 380 years? To put
Oh,
this into perspective, Japan's Edo
yeah.
period, the most impactful and important period for building Japan's culture and history, is only 260 years. Just imagine what 380 years of colonization does to a country. Hell,
Yeah.
even the name Philippines comes from the Spanish
And
colonial
Spanish
era,
word, yeah,
named after King Felipe II.
Yeah. Oh wow, he was very accurate from saying his name, Felipe Segudo. But yes, that's why in the Philippines, also in Mexican too, like we're kind of like almost the same. That's why we kind of call the cousins, the Spanish cousins. I guess we're kind of like the cousins here, like Mexican and Philippines. Yeah, it's very been a long time, except here in the South. Like I've heard a lot that not a lot in the South, like especially from the Spanish side, they didn't kind of like overthrow the Muslim here in the South tell the American around because America they always like wipe everything off.
The Spanish colonized the Philippines for around 330 years, changing the
That's so
local
long.
culture into a social caste system based on blood purity, like they did in all their
Mm.
colonies. Basically, the whiter you are, the higher you are. Spaniards at the top, Mestizos second, Indios or inland Filipinos next, and Negritos at the very end.
Actually,
It's
I
the
like read the book of Jose Rizal. In this case, there are actually like a lot of ways for them to like even called Indians here in the Philippines. Like I read like a lot of books that it always categorize that like mestizos and Indians. Kind of sad. Like there's like even a category of like people like there shouldn't be categorized. I think we should be categorized on how we better understand of a lot of things. Like not purely based on skin. I think we should always judge a person by their character. I think that's the best thing that I could ever like hear from. I think that's from actually the speech of who's his name? I kind of forgot about him. His name is he's a priest. I know him. Unfortunately, forgot. No. Fortunately, I'm a little bit embarrassed. Uh, man, I have to do some research of this. I'll be back. Here it is, friends. His name is Martin Luther King. Oh my God, I don't know why I forgot his name, but yeah, he has an amazing like speech. He's kind of like the. It's a very interesting inspiration. But I think he says that never judge a person by their color, judge the person by their character. And I love that like speech, man. Such a beautiful speech. And it's kind of sad, like he unfortunately died. Like trying to, I guess, live in a cause to hopefully like unite people and just he has a very interesting religious too. Like he loved to forgive people. Kind of sad, man. It's so heartbreaking that he died, especially at the early age. Unfortunately, assassinated. But
It's the
man,
colonizer classic: white equals cultured and black equals uncivilized. When the Americans took over for another 50 years after kicking the Spanish out, it was roughly the
yeah,
same thing. One thing though, the gap between urban and rural was intensified, especially through
really.
education programs that
Oh
prioritized
yeah,
English
that
speaking mestizos, while more darker rural areas received labor training. So, for generations, if you wanted to move up the ranks, the only choice was to become more white, by appearance, by language, and by behavior. Mestizos got their status by doing just that, while most Filipinos were cemented as laborers and negritos were excluded entirely. Of
yeah.
course, this also means that mingling with negritos was social death, as they were depicted as savages. You can kind of see that the colonial mentality isn't a personal preference, it was the rules that dictated how you survive for generations.
Yeah,
So,
I can
even
see
though
why.
there's no colonial level segregation today, that idea of being white equals success and dark equals lesser is still here. It's why expensive private schools teach Shakespeare instead of Filipino literature, why beauty standards are
That's
dominated
not
by
true.
women.
Like here in the Philippines, we learn a lot of like Filipinos, even like Jose Rizal in today's world. Like I even like learn a lot of his books. Like, we're still teaching them. It's kind of unfortunate that a lot of people don't like read Jose Rizal's books. Yeah, I actually read of them. It's actually a good book. Like the first book was good. The second book was actually mid. I don't like how the ending works. Like the main character just run away from the book and just never I never heard of him again. It's kind of unfortunate because I'm pretty sure Jose Rizal tried to make a third book from it, but yeah, it's kind of sad, man. Unfortunate.
Whiter compared to Moreno, why owning American brands like Nike or Apple are a status symbol, even if they're made
I
in
don't
Vietnam
use
or
like
China.
Apple.
So
I
it
use Linux. That's why I don't use Windows. Windows and Mac OS, okay, I'm racist towards those users. No, actually, you can use everything you want, but I just prefer Linux.
sounds like all the ethnicities, regions, population, and the colonial history would make Filipino racism a huge problem, right? Well, yes and no. It has its own problems, but for the most part, there are no serious ethnic conflicts, except for in Mindanao, like its other
Now that
ASEAN sea.
again, that's not true. That like some of them are that's actually not true at all. Like, well, maybe to some people and how they view it, but that's an overgeneralization and oversimplification from the war here in Mindanao. Even you can even call it war. Sometimes there are some skirmishes, skirmishes from radical groups in this case, but that's extremely oversimplified.
There are no serious ethnic conflicts, except for in Mindanao, like its other ASEAN siblings. It's the Filipino
Oh,
culture and
really?
identity that keeps
Interesting.
the racism contained. Even with all the islands and ethnicities, almost everybody here shares a Filipino experience, like being baked in the sun and
Yes,
also blown away by typhoons, going
yes,
into
and
overcrowded schools
earthquakes.
with boring araling panilipunan classes, but with delicious
Yes,
canteen food, corruption that makes millions disappear per
corruption.
month,
Yes,
but there's Jollibee. So
yes,
yeah,
they're
pretty
Jollibee. Yes,
painful, but kind of pleasant too. It's also the culture, which centers around family and community values, shared
yes.
memory, and
Thank you.
heritage. It's why Filipinos are chronically online and texting, not just to goon, but also because they value being connected to others. The internet
Yes.
actually helps to unite all the people isolated by the sea. This is why, even
Yeah.
though there's
Like I
so
even have
many
like Filipinos from the north. Like they're actually like they love Legos and stuff. Like they love Legos. Like two of them are Filipinos that love Legos, and they're from the northern side. And like one of my friend here from the Mindanao part.
different groups like Picols eating
I
chilies,
never had like a friend from the Visayas part, so yeah, I'm still like, bro. No, in fact, I actually have one friend. He's from somewhere. Yeah, she's a girl actually. We're actually online friends. We're just like all online friends from a community. So on Twitter, yes, on Twitter of all things. But yeah, we're basically pretty chill. Like we're just talking about like our passions, drawing art because I'm part of the art community. So yeah,
or Pangasinans drinking hot coffee at 50 degrees,
oh
everyone
yeah,
still shares the identity that they are Filipino. like having a 4-month Christmas season. It's
Yes,
why
he's
racism
right about
has
that.
a sort of family vibe, as in Filipinos can bully each other, but outsiders should not dare to do so. However, this casual approach to racism is also why it's a problem. The idea that racism is more about tough love and jokes becomes a problem when people address real issues going on today. There is still actual real discrimination against the darker,
Yeah.
indigenous, and Muslim groups within the country, but calling it out is framed as introducing divisive Western politics. Speaking of politics, Filipino politics is definitely one of the politics of all time, because Filipino elections are basically choosing from
Yikes.
either
Yeah.
corruption with corruption on the side
Corruption.
or
More
corruption with
corruption.
extra
Yes.
corruption toppings. The
Yes.
result
With
of
extra
most
corruption.
policies don't turn out so great.
Oh
Of
yes.
course, as with all politicians, they will refuse to take responsibility and look to shift blame on
Obviously.
other people. When you have so much in common, the differences stand out even more, making it easier for people to blame other regions instead of the corruption. Politics and
Yeah, it's
racism
kind of
together
sad.
is a recipe for disaster, and if left unchecked, it could be very divisive.
It's
However,
kind of
there
weird because in the past, like even like Filipinos, when I try to shout out like like the Marcos regime, there's actually like a lot of comments that actually hates me because like that I blame Marcos regime. Yes, everything starts in the Marcos regime. Like if you even go back, like even America even like tried to develop the Philippines even more because they know objectively and strategically like Philippines is like benefit for them. But if you actually like look back in the Philippines are actually good. Like it's actually a beautiful city. Like even Manila, like I saw like old photographic images of before the Marcos regime. Everything started from the Marcos regime, unfortunately. Because of his type of corruption, this actually unfortunately destroyed our like country. Like it never kind of like it never progressed from that. It never changed. It never healed after that. It's actually kind of sad because there's a lot of potential in the Philippines. And it's kind of unfortunate that corruption is still plaguing our country, even though that there is actually a lot of possibilities in my country that I actually love to believe. Kind of sad. Like a lot of people are even divisive against like the Marcos stuff. Like can we just see everything is just corruption that we need to like flush out all of this like politics in our stuff. It's kind of sad, man.
is a bigger push from Filipinos frustrated by what they feel as wasted potential from their
Yeah,
country.
I'm pretty sure, I really hope there is a corruption-based investigative unit here in the Philippines that, just prioritize of having like an anti-corruption scheme here in the Philippines because it's so annoying, man.
Trying to end corruption and fighting against the colonial mentality and racism. As a lot of Asia is pushing for less corruption and actual
Yeah,
change in
oh
their
yeah, Gen Z. These are actually interesting Gen Z, I guess piece here. I'm pretty sure this type of corruption has been growing rampant around the world. And it's kind of cool thing that this type of like protests of like, the One Piece flag has been like generated in this case. Obviously my laptop is almost down because, it's currently, our power is out currently.
countries. Let's hope that the Philippines can reach full potential instead of wasted potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Filipino racism. Again, I'm not Filipino, so I've had some help
Yeah.
from my Filipino friends, but they've also told me that they're coños themselves and
Oh,
probably
coños.
cannot give me the full picture. So
Okay.
please tell me what I've missed in the comments. I'm pretty curious too. Also, if you
So yeah, friends, help support, Fat Little Asian. It's kind of interesting YouTube channel. I actually subscribe. Like, I really love his like perspective and view, and like his amazing like insight from my country. He actually didn't say anything wrong. Because I also blame all of his like Filipino friends, of whoever they are. They overgeneralized and oversimplified, here in Mindanao. Like, hi, I'm a Mindanaoan. We don't even like go to war here. This is not a war zone server. I promise you, it's not. Usually, we just live here in peace with the Muslims in our side. Like that's it. Like the Moros. I don't know. I kind of call them like Muslims. I don't know what they wanted to be called. I just call them the Filipino Muslim or Arab. Or I'm pretty sure they're not Arab. I'm pretty sure they just want to be called Muslim or like Islamic. I guess Islamic Filipinos. I don't know. If you're Islamic Filipino, if you're religious or Muslim, what do I want to what do you want to be called? Because I only call like Muslim Filipinos or Islamic Filipinos. I actually love Islamic. I would actually love to say that because it rolls better from the tongue. Islamic Filipinos. That's also from the religion, like from Islam. So yeah, that's really just my opinion about it. The video is amazing. I'm pretty sure he got fed by misinformation about like Mindanao. So it's a very over oversimplification here, but yeah, almost overall, he's an amazing video. Hopefully, you can support him. Hopefully, you can support me subscribing my YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you for you all friends, and yeah, thank you for watching and good afternoon.